Herr President Maurer, Mesdames et Messieurs, 11 years ago, almost to the day, 1 month after Lehman Brothers went bankrupt, we were a few individuals here dreaming that sustainable finance would be the norm and not the exception. We were only a few, but we were engaged and active. Active in shareholder engagement, ESG research, microfinance, social businesses, and venture philanthropy, and also people from the United Nations to complete the team. We were an amazing mix of expertise and knowledge, the reflection of our unique ecosystem. And we shared the same vision that finance can be sustainable. In the beginning, though, the main challenge was to convince the system. First, to convince people that sustainable finance was not a product, but a new approach to risk management. Investing sustainably was simply investing well. Second, sustainable finance was bringing a new mindset to development finance. By adding a sense of purpose to the investment, you impact the way capital is allocated. You shift the allocation of capital to where it normally does not go. We also had the conviction that Switzerland, via the Geneva ecosystem, was extremely well positioned to innovate and take the lead. Look around. We have anything and everything you need to connect with development, financial, or technical expertise. That was in 2008. So what about now? No doubt, sustainability is all over the place. When I eat, when I travel, when I go shopping, when I read newspaper, even at home with kids, it's there. It's a necessary reality of our time. The true turning point was the year 2015, when the international community adopted the 2030 UN agenda, putting in place the Sustainable Development Goals. And a few months later, the Paris Agreement on climate change was adopted. The notion of urgency was instilled and is the real trigger in this mass movement for greening the world. And it's now everyone's responsibility to play a part. From a Swiss point of view, we must look across our borders. In the EU, currently 17 bills to green the financial sector are under review. The so-called EU Action Plan for Sustainable Finance is expected to come into force already in 2021, with mandatory disclosures, taxonomy, green bond standards, or distribution new policies. To access EU markets, Swiss actors will need to comply to those norms. Since the UN Principle for Responsible Investing in 2006, many new initiatives have emerged. The last one being in New York, the Principle for Responsible Investing. What strikes me most is the emergence of sector coalitions. Just like in the game theory, if you move, I will move too. Look at the recent coalitions: CEOs, banks, pension funds, insurers, central banks, cities, the youth movement. It's a collective movement because the challenges are too important and the speed of change required is too high to tackle it alone. So the question is not if, but really how, and at which intensity and depth we should integrate sustainability. It has become an opportunity, and it's an opportunity for Switzerland to take the lead with the highest standards and practices. Ladies and gentlemen, if I would have never thought 6 months ago, and I think some of you as well, when we started discussing the idea of a Swiss conference on sustainable finance, that I would be in the front of such an audience today with such speakers. It's absolutely groundbreaking. For this summit, we got supported by 17 financial institutions, and I thank them all. For the week, we made a call for events to our community, and you know what? Over 30 events, private and public, were organized, all within our local ecosystem. So let's jump now to 2030. Sustainable investing is the norm, not the exception. Capital markets reward sustainable business practices and make it difficult for those who do not manage ESG risks and opportunities to succeed. Innovation leads the movement, but more than this, traditional businesses have massively shifted towards sustainable practices, mainstream. Enough capital are mobilized to address the SDGs and reshape our systems. The financial system is completely digital and inclusive. And finally, our economic system regenerates most of what it produces and consumes. Let me finish saying that the purpose of today is to define first a shared level of ambition for Switzerland, second, a collaborative mindset to maximize our impact, and a concrete action plan. As a spokesperson of the organization, I would like to thank everyone who has contributed to make this summit and week happen. Sustainable Finance Geneva for having initiated the movement, Swiss Sustainable Finance for having ensured it would be a national event, the Geneva Financial Center for attracting banks and asset managers, the UN SDG Lab and the ISD for connecting in the right shore of the lake in the UN system, FC4S for its presence in Geneva and its connection to international centers. Last but not least, the public authorities, the Swiss mission at the UN, the canton, and the city of Geneva. Thank you very much, enjoy the day, and be a Bill Bridger.